alcoholic, a sex addict, and a pothead all die and go to hell. Satan is waiting for them and tells all of them, I am in a good mood today, so I am going to let each one of you pick one thing you love from earth and let you keep it here for 100 years, and then I will return for the goods. Satan first approaches the alcoholic. What is it that you would like to have? To which the alcoholic responds, I want the finest brew, wine, and liquor you can get me. Satan brings him to a room filled with every type of beer on tap, the finest aged cellars of wine, and of course, the purest grain alcohol, each type of liquor you could possibly think of or never afford to even taste. A never-ending supply of it all. The man yells, woo-ah-hoo! in excitement and runs into the room. Satan laughs, shuts the door, and locks it. Satan then approaches the sex addict and asks, what is it that you would like to have? To which the sex addict responds, women. I want lots of beautiful women, one for each day of the year. Satan brings him to a room filled with only the most gorgeous women imaginable. Some with huge chests, some with small, some with big behinds, and some with small, some tall with never-ending legs, and some short. All of the women are hot, naked, and very horny. The sex addict immediately gets into action and runs into the room. Satan laughs, shuts the door, and locks it. Satan finally approaches the pothead and asks, what is it that you would like to have? To which the pothead responds, well, that's easy. I want the best weed you got. Satan brings him to a room which is filled with the tallest, thickest, stinkiest, most dank plants growing on for acres. The sweet smell from the purest plants fills this enormous room. There were crystals growing on some buds, which grew 15 feet high, just begging to be harvested. The quality of the bud would put the Cannabis Cup winners to shame in all categories. It was beyond belief. The pothead was so awed and humbled by the sight of these beautiful plants that he slowly walked into the room. He sat down Indian style, like with his legs crossed, took slow, deep breaths, closed his eyes, and proceeded to meditate on this miraculous sight. Satan looks at him curiously, shuts the door, and locks it. 100 years pass. Satan returns to the first room, remembering the alcoholic, unlocks and opens the door. There is broken wine and liquor glass bottles shattered everywhere. The room smells like rotting animal flesh and piss. The alcoholic comes running at the door, naked, covered in his own vomit and shit, screaming, help! I don't want any more! Let me out of here! Satan laughs, shuts the door, and locks it. Satan then returns to the second room, remembering the sex addict, unlocks and opens the door. There are thousands of kids running around the room, and babies crying madly, making so much noise no one could hear their own scream. Hundreds of very, very old ladies now limp around with no clothes on, still very horny for the sex addict who attempts to run out the door as Satan watches. Before the sex addict can utter a word of desperation, Satan laughs, shuts the door, and locks it. Satan finally arrives at the third and final room, remembering the pothead, unlocks and opens the door. After a quick look inside, Satan's evil grin turns to a look of confusion. Nothing had changed. The plants were untouched, just as dank as the day he left them. Even the pothead was in the same position, sitting down with his legs crossed. So Satan walks up behind the pothead, taps him on his shoulder, and says, hey, what's wrong? A tear rolls down the pothead's cheek as he turns to Satan and simply replies, got a lighter?